Welcome to Zinzino Science Insights. I'm Dr. Natalie Kather, and I'm a medical doctor that boarded in family medicine and anti-aging medicine. And in my clinical work, I had a lot of clients that were interested in women's health issues, and we did metabolic medicine, integrative medicine. And I'm happy to be here with my husband, Stephen, who's a nutritional biochemist who's been in the nutrition industry for over 50 years. And we were honored to be invited to become Zinzino Scientific Advisory Board members as well as independent partners almost 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And
Now, you did a lot of work clinically, specializing in women's health, but also gut health. So I think that's important to mention
thank
because
you.
that's what we're
Yes,
going to be talking about today.
yes. And so I'm so excited that the gut health test is available from Zinzino as a finger stick dried blood test because you're right. When I was doing integrative medicine and we were looking at gut health, I would be ordering these 4-day collection stool tests.
Yeah,
And that was expensive for people, not only financially, but also in their time and their attention.
yeah.
Yep. So it's great to be able to have a test now that's economical, easy, and it really gets to the heart of the question when it comes to management, which is how is the ecology of the gut functioning,
Hmm.
and how is this relationship between the host and their gut microbiome?
Today we're going to be talking about Paul Clayton's favorite molecule, which Jennifer Rao identified as beta glucan.
Well done.
So let's go.
Okay, beta glucans are really important to our well-being.
Yeah, we normally think of beta glucans, we think of immunity, because that's what everyone talks about. But one of the things that Natalie and I want to bring to you today is another aspect of beta glucans and its effect on fatigue. Look at this meta-analysis. So this is an analysis of 12 different clinical trials that were done comparing beta glucan to placebo in healthy human beings. This is a really relevant study because oftentimes the studies are done on people with various illnesses. So this is healthy adults using placebo and beta glucan. And what do you know? Beta glucan significantly reduced feelings of fatigue and increased vigor and improved mood compared to the placebo group. So how did that happen? I thought that beta glucans were just an immune modulator, but in fact, they have a profound effect on energy. Why is that? A couple things. Well, number one, their energy. They're basically glucose units held together in these long linkages. And Natalie's going to describe the two ways that they're linked together. Don't worry about it. They're glucose units held together by lots of different links, and it's the structure that determines the effect or the benefit that you get. So, when you think of energy, you think what? Glucose, right? Most of your energy is going to come from glucose. Well, in this case, there's two ways that they contribute to energy. Number one is they modulate the glucose going from your gut into your bloodstream. So we want to make sure that that's what? Slow or fast?
Slow,
We want that to
please.
be slow. So it slows
No
down.
sugar
It
spikes.
slows down the transport of glucose from the gut into the bloodstream. Number two, since they are in fact a form of starch, they are providing energy to who? All the microbes. Like Natalie likes to say, that microbes like to munch on these fibers, right? So they're providing energy for the gut and they're modulating the energy that goes from the gut to the bloodstream.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Let me share my presentation titled Put Some Pep in Your Step and Protect Yourself. The bioenergetic and immunity supporting effects of beta glucans. So in the Zinzino products, we have beta glucans from gluten-free oats in ZinoBiotic. And so this class we can oversimplify and say energy. We think about energy. And of course, we can talk about, yes, it's a prebiotic and the roles that it plays in the importance of the health of our microbiome. And then thus they provide important nutrients for us. And then the other beta glucans from yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, um, it's in Xtend Plus, and of course, Protect. And so this one we are, oh, thank you, Paul. Yes, smart. We can oversimplify and say immunity. And so as we look at these differences, there certainly is a crossover in some of the characteristics they share, but the strongest characteristics for each are energy for one class and immunity for the other. Um, Oat beta glucans are long linear fibers, which are soluble fibers. Thus, we've been talking about them as prebiotic fibers. And the yeast beta glucans, known as beta 1,3 and 1,6 glycosidic linkages,
Oh, I love when you talk like that.
for the chemistry nerds. Those are highly branched, so they're going out in different directions, and so that structure becomes more balled up because of all that
Well,
branching.
and physically it becomes like a gel. And it's that gel which has the benefit of modulating the delivery of glucose from the gut into the bloodstream.
Oh, interesting.
It's interesting also that when you look at the chemistry here, you think of, and I don't want to get too complex, but in metabolism in general, and metabolism is what? How your body produces, stores, and uses energy. That's what metabolism is. And glucose is all over that, right? Because it's involved in everywhere. And one of the most important aspects of glucose metabolism is one of the ways that your body stores energy in a molecule called glycogen. And what do you know? Beta glucans promote the formation of glycogen in the liver. So that becomes another energy source in the time when you're not eating, right? So in other words, you're not eating and you still want to be active. So you go to the gym and you work out and everything is one and you got energy to lift those weights. Where's that energy coming from? Probably glycogen, right? Which is stored in the liver and the muscles. And that glycogen came from a signal from the beta glucans in your gut. Wow. In our book, we have a molecule, we have a picture of a glycogen molecule because it was just so exciting to actually look at a molecule of glycogen where you have thousands of glucose molecules all in branched configurations that the body says, ooh, that's energy. Store some of that in the muscles. Ooh, that's energy. Store some of that in the liver. Anyway, but I digress.
Clearly. All right. How are they different structurally? We talked about that. Solubility. The oat beta glucans are readily more soluble, which allows them to become viscous gels. And there's lower solubility with the yeast beta glucans. And again, energy, immunity. If we had a big crowd of people, we'd have one side yelling, I'm energy, the other side, immunity, right? Um, they promote the oat beta glucans mainly promote metabolic health by slowing glucose absorption and lowering cholesterol. And they do so by forming gels that increase viscosity in the digestive tract, which slows nutrient uptake. And then the yeast beta glucans are recognized for their immune enhancing properties. Their branched structure interacts with immune cell receptors. So I'm going to show you towards the end of this a diagram of a macrophage sticking his hand up between the cells of the gut and feeling the environment inside the gut and getting that information from the beta glucan.
You'll want to keep your cell phone handy to take a picture of that to share with your friends.
Yes. Okay, both of these are considered not digestible by human enzymes, so we rely on the gut fermentation to happen for conversion. And the oat beta glucan is more susceptible to fermentation due to its linear structure. And of course, this is more benefit to the microbiome and bowel function. Energy and immunity. And so when we compare these two, we look at the yeast-based ones, and again, this is out of this beta 1,3 and beta 1,6 branched molecules are in the Protect, the Xtend, and the Xtend Plus, and their main benefit is immune system support, and it's a very potent tool for that, which is why I'm going to have you take Protect before you go see the grandchildren today. With their little runny noses. And then, of course, the ZinoBiotic with the oat-derived beta glucans, these long structures, these fibers, um, very soluble and plays a role in metabolism, helping out with our cholesterol health, our glycemic control, and does play a bit of a role in immunity. All right, so this is, I highlighted this study if you want to take a picture of it, um, this reference, because this is what I'm going to show you the picture for um, regarding immunity and energy and this nice drawing. It's
There you go.
yeah, it's big, it's a lot, um, but
Use your
let's
arrows, right, if you want.
sure.
Yeah.
So over here, we're going to start in the A column, my love.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't rush to the B column. I know, but cute pictures. So we immunomodulatory properties and anti-tumor properties. We look at the immunity that we get from beta glucans and how they play a role in decreasing insulin secretions. We don't like insulin to spike and we don't like glucose to spike. We want nice, stable levels of both. And then how it improves cholesterol levels, decreasing the bad cholesterol, the low density lipoprotein, and also reducing the total blood cholesterol. The role that they have as antioxidants,
Interesting.
yeah, reducing oxygen species and oxidative stress. And then the prebiotic properties, which of course we've been talking about over and over, the short chain fatty acid production through beneficial bacteria like lactobacilli, and the other immune modulating effects that go along with these microbiota, including reducing inflammation and reducing oxidation. And here in the B column, we have diagrams of what these groups look like. So here we have these long soluble chains, and you can see that there's very little branching, like just one little molecule there. But where it has an N, that means that that can be a repeat, 7 times like that, or 10 times like that, or 30 times like that, thus creating longer and longer fibers. But this one down here, lentinan, this beta glucan, this 1,3,1,6 beta glucan is branched. You can see this, and you can imagine here also the letter N, that there's repetition that could be like 7 times or 10 times or 40 times, and then creating this branched globule thing, right? Over in the C column here, we have this nice picture telling us about this gut barrier health
Yes.
issue and the role of these inflammatory and not so inflammatory markers, this balance going on between the immune system communication biomarkers and how that affects the immune system and how it talks to the T cells, thus them producing interleukins and cytokines, which can relate to inflammation, which is important for repair, but also we want to have good control over so that we can have proper healing. And this is the picture I like, where this macrophage is sticking his hand up between these cells, and here he is collecting information from what's happening in the gut. And look at these bacteria, they're watching what's going on. And they're going to play a role in this process too. Here's that lovely mucus layer. We talked about mucin before. And here is you can see a linear beta glucan, the laminarin, or let's see. Yep. There. And then we go to D, and this is not our metabolism. This here is the metabolism by the good bacteria. Here's the good bacteria. And they're taking this chain, and this is their mouth, so to speak. This this mouth that requires energy,
Yes.
right? And so when I
So cell membrane.
cell membrane, yes, thank you. Outside of the cell, inside the cell.
Yes.
So when I say they munch, this is what the munching looks like. Nom, 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 nom. And they eat it, and here it is, and they are changing it, and through glycolysis, and they're chopping it up, or they're digesting it, so to speak. Yeah,
for sure.
so this is digestion inside the bacteria, and it's creating acetate, propionate, and look down here, butyrate. We talk about the beneficial short chain fatty acid and butyrate, and there it is. So I know this looks overwhelming.
It's fun.
Oh, good, because everything has to be fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. And when you're thinking about the beta glucans, and people are asking you about beta glucans, and they may ask these kind of questions because more and more data is coming out about these amazing molecules that really need to be part of our diet for optimizing metabolic issues and, of course, optimizing immunity.
Yeah. And to have Paul Clayton put beta glucan in 4 products gives you a sense of how important he recognizes these molecules to be. The the production of energy and the modulation of energy metabolism with beta glucans is really where I was most interested as we were preparing for today, simply because, as Natalie and I have talked about over and over again, it's all about energy. Right? It's all about energy. And in that regard, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you of something. Remember, I was saying that your body, one of the ways your body stores energy, all right, is in the formation of glycogen. There are 2 places to store glycogen, your liver and your muscles. Now, really important question for you today. Can you make your liver larger? In other words, if you want to store more glycogen, can you cause your liver to become enlarged?
Well,
No, you can't. You don't want to do that. You would never want to do that.
so that's confusing
No, 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 no.
because a
That-
large
that-
liver is
that-
not healthy. Okay.
No, exactly. I'm saying you cannot make your liver larger. I'm getting to the point.
Okay. Go
You
ahead.
cannot, and you should not ever think of your liver getting larger. So then where's the other place you can store glycogen?
Muscles.
Yeah, can you make your muscles larger?
And
Yes.
more efficient.
And far more efficient,
Yeah.
you see. So my point being that exercise is critically important, no matter how much beta glucans you consume. If you're sitting on the couch and you're not exercising, you will not get the full benefit from these incredible molecules.
Well, I will
Did
do
I-
30 I will do 30 push-ups for you today.
Well, you do a lot more than that. This woman is on fire in not only in Zumba, but in weight training. What'd you do with your leg press yesterday?
270.
270 pounds. I don't know how many stones that is.
Cutie. Anyways, let's see what we have for questions.
Okay.
Thank you, John. He says, I cut out sweets, but if I eat something sweet, I go to a workout immediately to uptake glucose to muscle. Is this efficient?
Yeah, it's a great idea. Great, think, and John, thank you for that, because food is information, all right? So whenever you eat anything, any starch, whether it's a complex starch like, brown rice, or a simple starch like the jelly donut that you had for breakfast, whatever it is, all of those starches, and starches come in such a wide range of molecules, but they're all going to be reduced by the digestive process into glucose. So John's point is, hey, if I go to the gym and work out, isn't that a good way to utilize all that glucose? And the answer is yes. In fact, in people who are ultra marathoners, And I had an opportunity to train a number of ultra marathoners and endurance athletes. They couldn't consume they couldn't consume enough glucose to maintain the glycogen in their muscles. I mean, from a normal diet, we would literally have to make them drink a beverage that was loaded with pure glucose. But then again, that's one extreme. The other extreme was what? The couch potato, the person who should never look at a jelly donut or should never even look at a glass of Coca-Cola. The person sitting on the couch, every excess amount of starch is going to add to their woes. Whereas the athlete, especially the endurance athlete, could pretty much, you know, eat almost anything because again, they're going to be utilizing that glucose
Yeah, but with athletes, we see how they often are nutrient deficient.
for sure. They're
Like,
micronutrient deficient. Yes,
yes,
for
but
sure.
also omega-3
Yes.
fatty acid deficient. But I don't want to get down that path right now. I want to go to the fact that you often recommend to athletes that they eat oatmeal,
Yes.
which has beta glucans in it.
Precisely. That is
Yes.
my go-to breakfast before any kind of marathon, 10K, 5K, or a trip to the gym. Yeah.
And the gym is easier for me if my breakfast is oatmeal, 2 scoops of ZinoBiotic, chia seed, a
Nice.
little bit of oat milk. Yeah,
Ah, wonderful.
makes a difference. And then, of course, the blue juice for energy.
Woo-hoo.
Paul has a good question. Are there any products that shouldn't be taken together or that may duplicate the benefits? Well, you heard us talk about Xtend and Xtend Plus, and so, choose one or the other. The difference is the Xtend Plus is a vegan formulation, and along with that, the nutrients amounts are lower in some respects for some of the nutrients compared to regular Xtend. Yeah, good question. Let's see other products that shouldn't be taken together. I
Well, the nice thing about the Zinzino approach is that it's designed to be used together. It's designed to be a system. So you don't have to be worried, am I getting too much vitamin A? Am I getting too much of this? Am I getting too much of that? No, the system works together and was designed with that in mind. So,
Yeah, and so the Zealous product that now has been converted from the A3 spirulina to Spiramax, you can take that along with your Extend and feel confident about that the nutrients aren't too much. Yeah. All right. Can xenobiotic help lower A1C? And that's a great question because
certainly contributes.
yep, because when we think about hemoglobin A1C, what we're looking at is how coated the hemoglobin or little red blood cells are with frosting. And that frosting amount hopefully is 5.4% or less. When there's too much frosting on a molecule or a cell, then it makes it difficult for that protein to work. So hemoglobin A1C, that hemoglobin isn't as effective in binding oxygen properly if there's too much sugar in the way.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, and John asks, diminishing returns.
You mean on beta glucan?
Maybe back to the glucose question, where maybe we need to talk more about the importance of glycogen and glycogen turnover. So we have glucose that's stored in our liver and in our muscles. We go to the gym, we use that glycogen up
Mhm.
so it doesn't get old.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want old oxidized glycogen. Um, we use that up, and then it also teaches the liver and the muscles how to do a better job at making
Yes.
glycogen, and thus the cumulative benefits of exercise and on a regular
Yeah.
basis.
Deplete, replete, deplete, replete, delete with exercise, replete with diet. Yeah.
Betsy, she has some good questions here. Um, oh, you are welcome. Paul, there are conflicting reports on the daily intake of vitamin D. Um, Great question. And you know what, Paul? I love that this company has a vitamin D test, and it's really important to test and not guess. And I'm a person who has a history where, oh, a couple decades ago, my gut health was so poor that I could not get my 25 hydroxy vitamin D level up into a healthy range unless I took 50,000 international units a day. And if you're wondering how much that is, well, each tablet of ZinoShine is 500 international units. So, let's see, that is a lot of Xenoshine every day. But that's what it took to get me into the healthy range. What did that do for me? That, of course, improved my immunity, and I didn't get sick as easily or as often. I had better muscle health, so exercise was more fun. I had less puffiness in my body because it helps control water balance in the body. And so these these studies where they talk about, what's a good dosing or what are the outcomes of taking this dose or that dose. To me, it's poor science if they are not testing before and after, and it's so easy to test and not guess. So these recommended daily allowances, that is
Too,
crowd, yes,
yeah.
crowd considerations. It's not individualized. It's not the personalized nutrition approach that we need. Thus, another reason why we fell in love with Zinzino when we learned about it and what they were doing, because it just makes sense. All right. Is the balance oil good for repairing the brain after concussion? Um, Francis, thank you for asking that question. And let me show you a book by one of our colleagues here. When Brains Collide by Dr. Michael Lewis. And the brain loves the omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA. And um, Dr. Michael Lewis talks about the benefit of supplementing these omega-3 fatty acids to people before they ever are in such an injury, and of course after. So it has protective benefits and it has important repair benefits. And the amounts that he recommends are like 3 times what we do for our weight-based dosing. And so, yes, the brain loves these fats. And so when we think about the number of people who have had injuries or even just the mental clarity issue because they have a 24-to-1 ratio on their balance test regarding omega-6 to omega-3. It's all about repair. It's coming back to building a better body by doing that in each cell, head to toe in the body. Yeah. Is there a best time of the day to take our ZinoBiotic? If we drink alkaline water, is it okay to take it in regular water afterwards in the mornings or better on its own for our own gut bacteria? Great question,
Well, it has no
Victoria.
effect on pH, so it's not going to be an issue.
No, do it the time of the day that works best for you. Some people like to take their fiber supplements in the afternoon because it can help decrease cravings. Other people are happy to get it into their beautiful bodies starting in the morning.
So the alkaline pH doesn't diminish the absorption?
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're talking about soluble fibers. They're mainly going to be hanging out in the gut. So
Okay.
doing all kinds of good things.
And after passing through the stomach, which is acidic, the pH of that water changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Thank you.
great question. You're welcome. Leslie asks, when people have digestive problems when they start the balance oil, what are your recommendations? So if they're having digestive problems when they start the balance oil,
Dilution is the solution.
yeah,
So take a lower dose and have it with food.
yep. Stephen likes to pour his oil onto his breakfast. I just drink mine as a shot. But some people's guts, are more welcoming to it in other ways. So then what about ZinoBiotic? And I would say do things in a stepwise fashion so that you know which variable is playing which role. So I think it makes sense to start with reducing the dose of the balance oil. And then if they're tolerating that well, then say, okay, now let's add ZinoBiotic and do a half a scoop, not 2 scoops,
Right.
half a scoop. And if they're tolerating that well for a week, then the next week increase the balance oil, and then the next week after that, increasing the xenobiotic, just this process of how their body is adapting as that gut is getting healthier, more healthy microbiota. It's a process, it's a journey. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. It seems like a huge opportunity to offer people a window into the wellness science that their doctor simply doesn't have.
We agree. Helping your doctor to open his or her eyes to the importance of this. We've done this before by here's a number of tests that you can share with your doctor. Or you can basically do it yourself simply by going to your AI and requesting a list of references outlining the importance of the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And you're going to get as many as you want. And you can also ask for a summary of those to make it easy for your doctor to understand that you're keenly interested in being a partner here. The partnership role that Natalie really championed, the partnership role between you and your doctor, as opposed to just the mechanic role where you take your body into the mechanic and you tell the mechanic to fix it. Right? That's the mechanic relationship. We don't like that because it rarely works. The partnership role is where you say to your doctor, hey, I want to work with you as a partner here, and I have some important information I'd like to share, and I'd like you to give me your opinion of this information, because I'm keenly interested in optimizing the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in my cells, because I'm made up of about 35 trillion cells, and I want those cells to be healthy and vibrant. So.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we see that it's 12:37 our time here in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you everyone for joining us. And I hope this is useful, as we think about beta glucans, and people are going to be asking questions.
Yeah.
How are these different? Why are they different in the products? And it's all about energy, and it's all about immunity. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great
so
day.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
learned so much.
Great.
Be blessed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.